Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today I'm going to be, well, having another look at the T71 Lycan Tier 7 Premium Light Tank, and also one of the monster tanks. Now, I've already looked at the Gorinich. I will be looking at the Crafts Panther. I know somebody had asked me that one in one of the comments. And I will be looking again at the Kaiju. Now, I was going to do those last week, or the Crafts Panther at least last week. But basically, with the new update that's coming out, 4.1 is it, tomorrow? The Crafts Panther is getting a couple of small buffs, or at least a small buff. So I thought I'd wait and have another look at that after the update. And the Kaiju, unfortunately, is getting a nerf. Yeah, not overly happy about that. I can kind of see why they've done it, but I'm really not happy about it because, well, one, that tank is, the Kaiju is now no longer what I paid for. You know, I did buy the Kaiju, I bought the monster tanks last year before I was a CC and before I could, you know, get tanks on loan. So I actually bought the monster tank bundle last year to review, and now the Kaiju's getting a nerf, so it's not the tank that I paid for anymore. So not particularly happy about that, but unfortunately there's not much that can be done. I would imagine it's probably in the terms and conditions somewhere that they have the right to change these things. So yeah, but still I am going to raise my annoyance about it to whoever I can, well, whoever I can basically. I'm just going to moan. But yeah, not happy. But anyway, Lycan, that's what we're here to look at. This is going to be a short revisit. There is only one replay for this one afterwards, and that is basically for one reason. There is nothing different. This has not changed since last year, as far as I can tell. I went back and looked at the old review. The stats all appear to be the same. And from the patch notes that have come with update 4.1, which I will be doing a video just sort of going on about the patch notes and what have you after this one actually. But yeah, there's just no difference. There's no change to it from last year. There's no change planned with the update like there is with the Kaiju and the crafts. So I thought just a short revisit, and there's not really much to say. You know, without sounding negative on it, because, you know, I do like the T71. It's a decent little light tank. I've not tried the Bulldog yet, the other Tier 7 American light, but I know a lot of people prefer the Bulldogs. It's faster, and it can also have an autoloader, but I don't think it has the same pen that this one does. In fact, let me check. Where are we? T71 Bulldog. There we go. Oh no, 175, 150. No, it does have the same pen, so there you go. It does have the same pen and damage. So yeah, some people do prefer the Bulldog. However, the Lycan has APCR as standard and heat as its premium ammo. And again, I've not got the Bulldog, so I can't comment on what the Bulldog has. But from what I've seen of Bulldogs in matches, I don't believe that they have APCR as standard. But I could be wrong. If I am wrong, leave it in the comments. So yeah, not much to say. It is, I mean, if I remember rightly, it is just a T71 but with a skin and a 20% silver bonus and a 25% XP bonus. And you know, it is a very nice looking skin. It's one of the nicest, or the nicer looking of the premium skins I've seen. It's just very sort of understated, just black with the shiny silver, and that silver does really catch the light as well, which is nice. It is really reflective. But like I say, there's not much. So I mean, a quick rundown: 400 horsepower engine, 11.25 rounds a minute with its 6-shot autoloader. Oh no, 175 pen, so it is slightly higher. It's still 150 damage, 210 on your premium. Again, 150, 38, 185. 210.39 second aiming time. Sorry, 0.39 accuracy, 210 aiming time. 56 degrees on the hull traverse, 42 on the turret, and a 400 meter view range. 22 mil of turret armor all round, and the hull is roughly the same. I don't think it's entirely the same, but I know it is roughly the same, and I will just check on that one because I've got it here. No, the hull is 25 front, 22 sides, 19 rear. But yeah, there's not a great deal to say about it. Like I say, it's not changed. It is just a T71 as far as I can remember. Like I say, just with those bonuses. Been a while since I've been through the T71, but yep. Yeah, so that's it. Like I say, very quick revisit. Not much I can say that I didn't say in my original review. It's quite a nice little tank. If you know, if you like your light tanks, it is quite a nice little light tank. Like I say, it's not got the speed of a Bulldog. It's not got that top speed, and I don't think it has quite the same power to weight ratio. The Bulldog might be higher, but again, could be wrong. But 64.4 kilometers an hour isn't too bad, with a 23.75 power to weight ratio, which isn't the best, but again, it's not the worst either of the Tier 7 lights. Gun depression and elevation are an issue with the T71 because of its oscillating turret. Generally what you find in this game, and I can't think of one that has an oscillating turret that isn't like this, you generally have crap gun depression and crap gun elevation. And that's basically because instead of just the gun moving up and down, the whole turret moves. So, you know, it can only move a limited amount, especially on some of the French ones, or the T67, T54E1 with the large overhang on the back that accommodates the auto-loading mechanism, or at least the ammo part of it. It can only go so far down because of the hull. So yeah, like I say, yeah, gun depression and elevation are a problem with this. So it's not going to be very good on ridge lines, whereas the Bulldog is. And you know, it's not going to be very good if anything gets above you, as you know, unfortunately, which is the same as the normal T71. The only thing that has changed slightly on this are the concealment values, which I think have both gone up by 0.03, and that's to account for it having perma camo. When these first came out, there wasn't that accommodation for the tanks that have a permanent camo. They had the same camouflage rating as a standard tank without camouflage, and obviously when you put camouflage on a tank, it does improve its concealment, although we don't have active stats for that. So when you put camo on, you still show the same concealment value as you do for not having the camo on. So that's something I think Wargaming could do with looking at, is having active stats. A bit like they do on the PC, it has the original value, and then it has the modified value for when you've got crew skills on, or when you've got camouflage on. So, for instance, for a normal T71, it would show 0.25 for the concealment. You stick camouflage on it, have a look again, it would show 0.25, and then it would have another figure of 0.28 or whatever it is, to account for the camouflage factor and any skills that you have on the crew to do with camouflage. But there's not really much to say. Ammo racks, mostly in the front side. You can get them through the front of the tank because, you know, it's a very small tank and the shell does travel through the actual thing. So the ammo racks are quite easy to hit on this. And armor wise, well, there's not much to tell. You know, like I said, 25 on the front, 22 side, 19 rear, 22 all around the turret. I've had, again, the odd lucky bounce in this thing, but it's not something that you're going to expect very often. But that's it, really. Equipment wise, well, vertical stabilizer, vents, and coated optics for me. I think this works quite well as an active scout, but you know, it can work as a passive one. If you want to set it up as a passive one, you probably want to drop the vents and the optics for maybe binoculars and a camouflage net. But I find that equipment setup works best for me. Skill wise, well, that's my T30 crew, but to be honest, there's some pretty good skills for a tank like this. You've got your muffled shot for when you are wanting to hide in greenery, that sort of thing. Obviously sixth sense. Repairs, because nobody wants to be tracked in a light tank. It's not nice. You could put track mechanic on and, you know, trust to your repairs. You know, your repair skills for your tracks when you do get tracked, but generally you're going to end up burning that repair kit, because if you get tracked in a light tank, you're probably going to be dead a few seconds later. Camouflage, always useful on lights. Brothers in Arms just, you know, improves everything really. And situational awareness, just to improve the view range, because view range is key in light tanks. You want anything that can improve your view ranges in light tanks, because that's, you know, that's your main defense, outspotting the enemy. And the second part of your main defense, because it's sort of a two-part thing, one is outspotting the enemy, two is outmaneuvering them. They are your main defenses. But enough of this, let's get into the actual, well, I tried to keep it short, but there you go. Let's get into the replay I've got for you and just see how it actually handles. Right, so here we are for the replay. Like I said, I've only used one because, well, nothing has changed with the Lycan, and nothing is looking as though it's going to change with the Lycan in a new update. Which, coincidentally, as I'm just sort of finishing up editing, this one has become available for download. Definitely, well, I'm assuming it has on Xbox as well, but it has on PlayStation 4. Obviously, it won't be going live until tomorrow, but it's nice that they've put the download on the day before to give people a chance to download it, and then tomorrow all they've got to do is wait for the server downtime, and then when it comes back up they'll be sorted without having to do a 4 gig download at the same time. But anyway, Sand River, as you can see, and I think I've actually got pretty good matchmaking with this one. I think it is a tier 8 match, which is, well, apart from exceptional circumstances, it's the best matchmaking you could probably hope for in a tier 7 light tank. I have been in tier 8 matches in a tier 8 light tank, and that doesn't happen very often, and normally happens when there aren't enough of the upper tiers to basically to sort of fill it or warrant it, sort of thing. So it has happened occasionally, and it is really good fun. When you are actually top tier in a tier 8 light tank, it can be quite good fun. But anyway, back to this one. I was just doing a bit of active spotting, popping up onto that sand dune, seeing what was the other side, seeing a few of the enemy tanks coming up this way. There's plenty of allied tanks heading up this way. I am platooned up with my wife in this match. She is in her T72, but unfortunately it is not fully upgraded. In fact, it was pretty much stock at this point, so she had to be very careful with that very, very weak turret front that the stock T32 turret has. When it's upgraded, obviously very, very strong turret front. Stock turret is not. It's about 114mm, and there is no tricky gun mantle sort of strong spots like there are on you know, on the Pershing and what have you. It's just very, very weak turret front, and you can tell the difference because the weaker T32 turret has a rounded gun mantle, whereas the upgraded one has a more angular gun mantle. So there you go, that's how you tell the difference. So if it is a rounded gun mantle, you can generally go straight through the front of it on the T32. Bit of a tip there for you. Anyway, done a bit of damage, waiting for that reload, and that's the thing with auto loaders, you've got that very fast burst potential. You know, this has got 6 rounds in it, but then you've got that lengthy reload. Although I think compared to some of the auto loaders, I don't feel that this is overly long. But now I've tired of doing a bit of spotting. I've basically come over here hoping I was pretty much safe from the side. Maybe I could have planned that a bit better, but I do manage to take down Tiger 2. I was very, very lucky because I took a hit, but all it did was track me. And there was not much else looking. I had, you know, I didn't go over blind, I did peek over beforehand just to see if there was anything that would pose an immediate threat to me. But I was very lucky with that one that my track's 8. Although, just looking at it, 18.7 seconds, probably about average for a 6-shot autoloader. And now, again, just keeping an eye out, popping over here and there. The tanks that have gone around the other side have been doing quite well. They seem to have pushed around, but I think most of the team had headed up. I don't know if they'd so much headed up this way. A lot of them seem to have gone more towards the middle and stuck near Cap as well. But I'm going to get round on this Ferdinand, and that's what I like using light tanks for. It's for just using the speed and manoeuvrability to get round on tanks that are either occupied by something else or just haven't seen you. And then you can, you know, give them a really bad day. But with active spotting, I mean, you've got your 2 times. I am still trying to do a light tank guide, but it's just a lot more work involved because it's trying to remember all the generalised tips that I can think of, if you see what I mean, because there are so many different situations. And light tanks, not everything applies to all of them. Now, yeah, I did take it from the Nassau there. That was pretty much unavoidable. Didn't realise he was there until I'd spotted him, so now I've got to try and weave towards him, try and judge his reload, get around the side of him. Couldn't quite, but somebody else took him down before I put the last shot in. And now I've got a choice of, well, what do I do? Do I reload? Do I wait? And this is very, very surprising. I go for the reload. That's not the surprising part. There's a heavy tank somewhere. Not entirely sure where he is. And it was a big shock when he does finally turn up because of how close I was to him without spotting him. Very surprising, actually. But I'm going on the hunt for him now while they try and cap. Which is irritating because there is only the one heavy left and there's plenty of time to find him. Oh, that little bit of a jump there. But yeah, with light tanks, it's you've got to get into, you know, they take a lot of practice. The chaff is a great one to practice with, but they do take a lot of practice. With some of them, that are faster than others. Some are a bit slower than others. You know, it can be a bit more difficult to do your active scouting. Some you can literally zip in and out of tanks and rely on your speed and maneuverability to not get hit. Others, you've got to plan your routes a bit more carefully, pop up and down, like I was at the beginning of the match, popping up, spotting the enemy, and trying to get up there and keep them spotted. It's nice if you can get in sort of more of a passive location where you can spot the enemy without them knowing you're there, and then obviously just rake in the, you know, the assisted XP. But yeah, the Tiger, right down there. I came so close to him and didn't spot him. I was just, it was obviously out of my view range, and I was just out of the auto detect zone, and I was hoping to sort of jump down there and put a bit more damage in, but I couldn't quite get back in time. If I'd have been in the Bulldog, I probably could have done. But yeah, not a bad match. But again, I didn't think I needed to show a lot with this one because nothing's changed. Just a quick rundown of the stats. Bit of a match to sort of show you it, and I thought that'd be enough for this revisit. If you know, if stuff had changed, I spent a lot more time on it, but it hasn't. So it's more of a recap than a revisit. Just had to check what that one was, but it was the last of one of the stages. But I did get a patrol duty and a scout as well, which is quite nice. But there you go, T71 Lycan. Not a bad tank, but not much to tell about it either. Just a regular T71 with a very nice looking skin and a couple of bonuses. But there you go. Anyway, I'll be back later with another 2 videos maybe today. But until then, take care out there, and I'll catch you next time. See you later.